Hey, what's happening, YouTube? It's been a while since I last done a video. I hope everybody is doing well. It is just a few days away from Christmas. So with that in mind, I say Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I did want to take a moment to finally make a video because I have posted on my Instagram. I have posted on my website where the majority of my show is, but I haven't done anything tech related in quite some time, and I wanted to explain why. And it kind of goes into the whole narrative of what I'm titling this video about, like a farewell to a bygone era. And I guess in part it's because of that I haven't dealt with so much on the tech side of things, particularly BlackBerry, which I'll get to in a moment. But then, as you'll see, I'll segue into as to why I haven't really been posting all that much, and it has a lot more to do on something a little more controversial, which I'll get to. So first one is this week. It was supposed to be the cutoff for basically end of life of Windows Phone 8.1. I think Windows Phone 10 to some extent is still being supported, but the 8.1, the App Store would stop working. And what I ended up doing, like almost everybody else, was getting basically all my apps updated and games installed as much as I could, because I'm gonna pass these on to my kids instead of buying them Game Boys, So I had several HTC Windows phones lying around, so I just updated all of them, and now each of these kids can get something for Christmas. And I'm like, oh look, there you go, you got yourself a little Game Boy or style thing. And as far as I know, I can still stream music on it, so at least it has that going for it. But as for the rest of the services that are being cut off, I don't really care, because I'm not using it for anything else myself. But I don't need my kids accessing that anyway, so just play with the games and stuff. Now, when it comes to Windows 10, when I mean supported, I don't mean like, oh, it's still being supported by Microsoft. No, they stopped supporting that thing a while ago. But what I mean by that, I think the Windows Microsoft Store thingy is still up and running in some way. That's not clear, but that's what's confusing. That's what's always confusing about this tech stuff. So anyway, the point is Windows Phone itself entirely is reaching end of life, or has reached end of life, and that was the handwriting was on the wall some time ago. And it's just sad to see a platform die, because it's a platform I really, really loved. It was different from everything else out there, and I really enjoyed it. While it held so much promise, but it just couldn't muster up the support it needed to survive, kind of like BlackBerry OS did, and then BlackBerry 10 OS. Which then also leads me to the sad, unfortunate thing about BlackBerry 10. Now, I actually did a video talking about this end of life stuff earlier this year, and I guess now it's more appropriate to say goodbye, farewell, even though BlackBerry did say they're going to support some services until next year. But that's just prolonging the inevitable, basically. And so it's just, like I said, it's time to move on. But I feel like I've also turned the page, and this is the part that saddens me, because I've kind of moved on from BlackBerry, and I feel like there's a part of my life that's missing. And I don't just mean the devices. I mean, I still have the BlackBerry 10 devices. I don't use them anymore, other than, I occasionally turn them on and update any apps if possible. If there's any updates, there typically aren't. But some of the Android apps I do updates, and that's it. It's Android, and it says it's not connected to Google services officially. I have to turn to my Android device to get it done right, and that's where I feel like it's gone. That it doesn't get it done for me. It hasn't been able to get it done for me for so long, and I tried. God knows I tried with the Android powered Blackberries, and letting go of the BlackBerry Key 2 Red Edition, which I flat out loved the device hardware, but not so much in combination with the software to power me on a daily basis. It didn't get it done for me, because on its own the hardware is just stunning, but the one spec wise, the processor was just lacking, and it showed. The RAM did what it could, but the processor definitely showed that it could not keep up with me, so I couldn't use it. And I definitely need the camera to be up to specs, and a telephoto lens is very important for what I do. So I just kept chugging along with the Samsung Note 9. The BlackBerry just couldn't do it for me, and that's why I kept saying maybe the next one, and then I found myself thinking, That's what I've been saying about BlackBerry for the longest time. It's like, I feel like it's so almost a decade. Oh, maybe the next one, maybe the next one. And that's why I feel like I feel like I moved on from them. Now I am using some of the BlackBerry app services, but discontinuing the productivity tab doesn't matter because I'm not using a BlackBerry device anymore. But I am using software from BlackBerry. I just don't know if the email app and the calendar app that I basically use now, 'cause I don't use a launcher anymore, are worth basically paying a membership fee into anymore. If it was a standalone price, sure, but it's a subscription thing. So like, is it really worth it anymore? So yeah, those are the questions I left pondering, and I guess it's a big deal for me because this channel kind of got started talking about BlackBerry stuff that no one else was talking about, and those are the views that propelled my channel to over 1 million views. So thank you so much for all of you that have watched my videos, particularly the BlackBerry ones. They still trend a lot and from my analytics. So I really appreciate all of you that have watched. And I know that for a lot of the international audience, what I talk about now isn't really your cup of tea, but it is something that I've had to naturally change to because I'm not a tech channel of that sort. I would love to be. But I haven't been able to do much with my YouTube channel this year as I was experiencing growth and then stifled and then went backwards. I saw a lot of subscribers disappear, which led me to believe that perhaps they were robots. But then I found out that they were not bots, or at least not all of them. It's what YouTube determined to be bots, or what they consider Russian agents or assets. And to that effect, it's because they started cleaning up a lot of subscribers that they deemed to be toxic to YouTube, stemming a lot from the VOD apocalypse. And here in the United States, those of us that are independent content creators would know about this, especially we are conservative leaning, would experience this kind of downright censorship where some of my videos have been demonetized. I had to actually take down a couple of videos that were not even political, but because there was a word or two that was considered offensive, which I won't even. I feel like if I repeat it here, I'll get this video dinged. But I'll tell you anyway. Christian and conservative. That was enough. What? It's like whatever. I thought this was a place of inclusivity. Apparently I was wrong, and that discouraged me from producing the other videos that I had waiting in the wings. I was going to do a video reviewing the Ford Ranger 2019. It was going to be my first automobile review. I recorded that one several times. And I just kept asking myself, why am I going to go through making sure I have a polished video, put it up, and then YouTube doesn't even let me promote it because they're diverting traffic away from my channel. I had reviews about other devices that never saw the light of day because first, it became dated. Secondly, YouTube kept stifling me. Like, my goodness. I even noticed they retroactively demonetized some of my videos. Like, what? Like, for what? I wasn't even talking about politics. I'm talking about business aspects of things. But because some of those topics can be construed as political, they were demonetized. And that was very discouraging considering how much of a financial investment I had to make. And there was just no way for me to make it back if I can't monetize my videos. I use my podcast as a platform to market myself as different real estate broker from everybody else in the industry. And it's worked to an effect and building reputation for me, which I'm happy about. But if I cannot expand as far as I could with my radius, because Facebook doesn't let me, I try to promote my campaigns on Facebook and Instagram, and they keep blocking those campaigns. The only ones they'll allow me is if I'm talking about a giveaway, or if I'm talking about like a positive message, like, hey, work smarter, not harder kind of thing, And that's it. But there's nothing in it that would say that, hey, Andres works in real estate, he gives financial advice. If it says anything to that extent, they're saying I could possibly be violating the equal opportunity housing rules. Therefore, they flag my ad before it even goes on. Like, well, why don't you review it? And to that, I've had no answers. I have about 15,000 view counts that for some reason I can see it on the analytics on the YouTube side, but YouTube won't show it on the public side. So like, to what effect? I've never even heard of a large channel having that kind of a discrepancy. It's like, there's a lot of unanswered questions. I've gotten zero support from YouTube, and I've been shadow banned by certain groups on Twitter. not because of any of this, but because I actually support some of the groups that talked about the Disney Star Wars fiasco. So I've been vocal about it in the back channels, away from YouTube, and it got me shadow banned as I knew it would, just because Disney wanted to go out there and silence those that opposed their product. And I support those channels that are bigger than me, because they have some financial capital to be able to fight back. But I don't. I'm just one person, and it's really hard to get a channel going, and it's really hurt and discouraged me from devoting much more time into making YouTube videos, which is why as I continue setting up my studio with help of some friends, it's made me really think about, like, is it worth it at this point? I mean, I'm almost there, I'm almost done, but I'll set up the studio and not use it, like, for video. It has been a little disappointing in that sense. So I just wanted to put that out there. That's kind of been what's been happening behind the scenes. I still do a lot of different things on Instagram that are okay for the most part, behind the scenes stuff that I recommend you go check out. The show lives on my website, where it's on the video description down below. You should be able to find my podcast directory that continues to grow. Different directories are keep picking me up. The latest one being in the Alexa flash briefing thing, so that's really awesome. And Pandora finally approved me, but I'm still in the onboarding process, so I have no idea how long that takes. And that, to me, is the last one that I feel that I need, and I'm everywhere. So it's been really cool to see the podcast grow in that respect. But to see Google and YouTube kind of block the growth here on YouTube itself has been very disappointing, which is why I invite anybody and everybody to check out Off the Record at my website, www.theandresegovia.com, because that's where I talk about all the things that I can and I want to, uncensored, off the record, and I have no concern about Google coming after me, because, hey, it's my website, my domain, I host it, you can't stop me. So if you really want to hear everything else that I got to say, by all means, I encourage you to check it out. You can actually access the entire library of Off the Record episodes at the time. You can access it all the way to the end of the year, because I want people to find out just how much content I do cover and do, including exclusive shows that will never see any space on YouTube or Facebook. So I encourage you guys to check it out, by all means, please. And I do appreciate all of you that supported me throughout the highs and the lows. I really appreciate every single one of you, and those that have subscribed, stay in the know, and have been in the know. You know who you are, and I thank you for all that. So that's all I really wanted to get out there. I wanted to wish you all a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and hopefully to something considerably more positive and growth to this channel in the next year, which I'm counting on. And that's it. That's all I wanted to say. I try to keep this straightforward. I'm sorry that the lighting isn't the best. I'm shooting this from my phone because my office is a mess right now. A lot of construction going on right now. So I try to hide all the imperfections, but I'm sure you'll catch something. But anyway, that's it. It's been a long day. Just want to throw it out there. And good night to you all. I'll see you on the next one. And remember to like, share, and subscribe. Bye.